I did see this.
The idea of you coming from America to here, settling in...
This is an interview of the least politically adjacent to Hitler Israeli.
Potentially in Gaza, kicking Palestinians out. A lot of people would see that as settler colonialism.
It's not really...
So first of all, we have, like, the whitest human to have ever lived coming here from America, wearing what looks to be, like, 19th century American trad wife clothing.
Colonialism, it's a return. My grandparents were kicked out of Israel by Arabs who were trying to establish a Palestinian state, and they had to leave for their survival, and I'm just coming back and fulfilling their dream. That would be the first thing. The second thing is, I think that...
That's true, man. That's what happened during the formation of Israel. The Jews were forced to leave. I mean, some were, but the war ended up finishing... I mean, you won the war. I wonder if anything else happened. I wonder if anyone else got, like, removed from their ancestral homeland.
And I know this is a minority view. I think colonialism gets a bad rap. Like, genocide is bad, but colonizing places that are genocidal and they have bad ideology, it's good to come in and correct them.
Remember how I said before that one of the reasons Israel is so strange compared to other countries, why they're so bad at dog whistling and they're so bad at hiding their intentions, is because they're a 19th century settler colonial project in the modern day? This is exactly that. This is exactly what 19th and early 20th century colonial types were saying. Like, you know, like, they reject the idea that colonialism's even a bad word, because to them, they're like enlightening the savages. That's, you know, it's white man's burden shit, essentially. It's incredible. It's like perfectly representative. Like, they reject the moral framework that we would assume.
What do you think should happen to the people?
It's the closest we have to a modern Nazi state. No, it's the closest we have to a modern Rhodesia. The difference is that we dropped support from Rhodesia. You know, it was too racist even for the British. Whereas we continue to support Israel.
People who are already in Gaza.
So I think that there's a couple of possibilities. The one that I think is the most realistic is we got to ask other countries for help. I know that Spain was willing to take...
Yeah, that's true, man. You sure do need a lot of help from other countries.
A couple of million. I know Russia said they would take a couple of thousand.
To a lot of people, that would sound like you're advocating for ethnic cleansing.
She literally was just like, oh, I'm not colonizing. I'm just returning to where my grandparents were ousted. And then in her next breath, she's like, yeah, well, we're going to oust millions of them and send them to, like, Spain and stuff, you know?
I don't think so, because Palestinian isn't an ethnicity, it's an ideology.
That's another 19th century classic. They would say this shit about, like, Native Americans, you know? Kill the Injun, save the man, or whatever. Yeah, the Palestinians, they're not like a real people or whatever. They're like, you know, it's a mindset, it's a skill issue. We need to civilize them or something. It's crazy. Legit, I've never heard that one. Well, this is like, does this not look like a time traveler from the 19th century? Look at her, Jesus.
And it's an ideology that says that they want Jews dead, and so we want them as far away from Jews as possible.
That's crazy.
Would-be settlers.
Can you believe that's the least politically adjacent to Hitler Israeli there is? Can you imagine what the rest of them are like?
Take us to the Erez crossing. It used to be the gateway into Gaza. The area has been closed off by Israeli soldiers, but the group is waved through. They've planted 2 small lemon trees here as symbols of their claims over this land.
Oh, good luck.
Just saplings, but the settlers have seen how over the years their efforts bear fruit.
I get it. I get it. I get it. Did you see this West Bank news? They're calling for an evacuation of a Gaza-like evacuation of the West Bank. What? FM urges Gaza-style temporary evacuation of Palestinians West Bank. Oh, man, that's cool. Guys, we're just going after Hamas in Gaza. This is definitely just about Hamas, okay? Please pay no attention to the 57,000 settlements that we have violently seized over in the West Bank. And now we're treating it like a militarily occupied area, even though Hamas isn't in the West Bank and there's no fighting happening over there. I mean, well, there is fighting. It's just Israeli settlers, like, going up to Palestinians at gunpoint and seizing their land. So that's fighting, you know, but... And the U.S. won't do shit. Yeah. Rhodesia, if they continued getting the support they wanted indefinitely. There was a Washington Post article about this that continuously mixed up Hamas and the PA. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's a Hitlerite world. We're just living in it. Now, we've been getting a lot of Texas hate, huh? I feel like we should have done the Kentucky segment now rather than at the beginning, because now you guys are all really, really primed to hate rural red state voters. You know what I mean? Like, at the beginning, it was like, no, these humble proletarians just yearn for political guidance, and now you guys are very primed to be angry at them. So that's good. Yeah, I should have timed that out better. For future reference, yeah. Practice resisting the urge to be mean to people in red states for being in red states? No. I will not practice that, actually. I will remain unpracticed in that specific skill. In the national average, it looks like we're stalling out at around 3.5, thereabouts. We had a little bump here after the DNC, right here at about 3.5. That makes sense. That sounds about right. It looks like Democrat favorability in Congress is still surging upward, where it was pretty much neck and neck for a while, but there's been a big spike upward since the beginning of August. By big spike, I mean a difference of like 1.5 points, but, you know, it's America. Favorability for Kamala Harris is almost tapered out. Like, favorability at 45.5 is pretty good. What's Trump's at? Like 39? No, 43. So a little bit above Trump's. I thought Trump's was lower. It's more about net unfavorability than it is favorability. For Trump, he's at 9.6 unfavorable versus Kamala Harris, who's at 2 unfavorable. Which is, you know, general election. Want to update that? President, general election. You want to update that? No? We don't feel like it? Okay. We still don't have much good polling in the swing states. They don't really kick that up until the last month and a half or so. Stein plus 10, that looks wrong. It is. You're misreading it. It has issues sometimes, yeah. Red Eagle Politics. Isn't that the Nazi? The YouTuber Nazi? Is that just like a similar name? Or oh no, it's literally the YouTuber. Why even include these, 538? Literally, it's literally like a far-right YouTuber. I remember this guy. Doesn't 538 suck now? Life sucks now. We have to get with the times. We have to get with the times.